The Trump administration's throwing around this idea about incentivizing women to have more children. Oh, we'll give them a
Right.
$5,000 baby bonus, which is just insulting. That doesn't even cover your doctor visits. Give me a break.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to touch on, because I wrote about this in my Substack this week, was this idea of the motherhood medal.
Yeah.
They were talking about having a medal for women that have had 6 or more children, which is straight out of the Nazi playbook. Stalin did this as well. Mussolini did something like this as well. And it's specific, of course, to a certain type of woman that they're going to be rewarding for this kind of behavior. And it really brings me back to this idea that all of this is about control and the consolidation of power, right? Because we're controlling now the mode of reproduction and also who we want to reproduce. And I think this is going to be interesting for the pro-life crowd that has attached themselves to Trump. How are they going to feel when RFK Jr. does start to roll out his eugenics programs? Because that is coming, and anyone who thinks it isn't paying attention. And we start saying that the right thing to do is to abort these certain fetuses. And that, to me, is really going to be a very line in the sand, I think, even for more of his ardent supporters, if they are going to have that crisis of faith, because we are here. Like, I don't know how much more people need to see to understand that fascism has come to America wrapped in a flag and carrying the Bible like people said it would many moons ago. And I'm very concerned if we become afraid, that's when they will thrive. I don't know if you were ever bullied as a kid. I was, and the only way to fight a bully is to show them your teeth.
Yeah. I definitely had some experiences with that growing up.
Yeah.
And
and let me just say this, Desmond, someone responded and gave a nice comment here. Stanley Thompson, he said, Hitler didn't just start arresting judges on day 1. He waited 18 months, just long enough to consolidate power, control the press, and normalize fear. By year 3, the courts belonged to him. Today, a judge was arrested. This is way ahead of schedule. We still have 2 years and 6 months before the next election. We must resist before it's too late.
Yes, it's going to be, unfortunately, a long time before we can even start turning some of these things over. But I mean, yes, the traditional way of going about having, helping people start having more families is to, do things like hire, like raise the minimum wage, make it easier to access childcare, make it easier so that people can actually afford to have a child, affordable housing, better healthcare, things of that nature. So there's so many different reasons why people don't have children, but I think one of the driving factors for a lot of people is economic reasons.
It's money.
They don't have the ability to raise a child in this. I mean, people are having a hard enough time taking care of themselves right now.
That's right.
So how can you expect someone to turn around and then raise a child when they can barely afford rent, when they can barely afford food? They have no money for medication. They can't buy a house right now. They're sitting over here wondering why they can't save anything for retirement. You're asking someone to turn around and bring a child into the world. Do you know how expensive children are?
Right.
So I mean, it's so detached from reality. I mean, I don't want to get super personal here, but we have put off having children for that reason. Because it's just too expensive. It is too expensive. I'm just we can't afford it. Seriously. So
I don't think, no, I just wanted to add to your point. I'm looking off camera because I'm reading my notes, but this article talking about this issue from iHeartRadio, it said in a statement, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the administration is proudly implementing policies to uplift American families. The president wants America to be a country where all children can safely grow up and achieve the American dream. As a mother myself, I'm proud to work for a president who's taking significant action to leave a better country for the next generation. Can you imagine what it must be like to be this delusional and have to lie this much all the time? They
don't care.
I know. But
they don't care. They don't care.
It's like a Black Mirror episode. It's insane to me. It's like what is she saying? What is she talking about?
It's so detached from reality. At the same time, when you're seeing red state after red state go through and remove child labor laws, having these children, especially in Florida, in Arkansas, in Iowa, they are having them work 6 days a week during the school year in factories, getting they're advocating to pay them less than minimum wage. Just like, are we serious right now? The party that protects children, it couldn't be anything further from the truth. It's a perversion.
It is a perversion. You know, I
Yes.
was emceeing the Pittsburgh Learning Collective yesterday, and it was an incredible conglomerate of all these different educators and community organizers coming together, trying to figure out what we can do for education. And I know we want to talk about education here in a moment, but the one part was a breakout session, and they started talking about the students that they work with who are homeless and trying to work with homeless students. And I'm sitting there just listening as, you know, just as the MC. I didn't have a, you know, horse in the race. And I'm thinking to myself, this is sick that we are having to have a conversation because there are so many homeless, unhoused children in the United States that it has now become a point of concern to raise at a city level, a county level conference.
Yeah.
Just taking that in for a moment. It's like we can't even take care of the kids who are here. We refuse to take care of the kids who are here. And they want us to have more kids. Fuck that. No.
This, meanwhile, while they are also gutting the Department of Education, making it harder for children to actually access something, you know, that basically everyone needs, education to get through childhood.
That's a human right.
You know, and let's just transition that to also attacking education on another level, on the higher education level, as we talk about